Hey there guys, it's Joey. So as promised, here is the healing spell work for the throat chakra. This is a setup of my personal design, how I feel about the correspondences and what energies seemed right to me. So we're going to go through the components of the spell and how I set it up and the reasons behind it. So the throat chakra has the following correspondences: pale blue, sound, creative identity, self-expression, communication, creativity, experiencing the world through vibration of sound, language, is in control of truth and expressing true feelings. Some of the correspondences in herbs are benzoin, basil, chamomile, cypress, sage, eucalyptus, frankincense, red clover, liquids in general, tart fruit, lime and lemon, salt and lemongrass. Okay, so the throat chakra is one that's probably very dear to my heart, or technically throat. I enjoy experiencing the world through sound, and I sing a lot and hum a lot, and I think there is great power in expression, particularly in words. I'm probably very overly verbal. So healing in terms of the throat chakra is very necessary for a lot of us, especially in our overly verbal lives. If you're finding yourself having physical symptoms of sore throats and things, that's a good sign that something is amiss. It's not the only thing, obviously, because you get your viruses and your colds and flus and whatever, of course. If you're having problems with your creative identity and expressing yourself, that can be a sign that there is blockages in the throat chakra. So this spell is to do with healing the energies of the throat chakra. So we have eucalyptus incense going, and eucalyptus is associated with the throat chakra. But it's good to have a cleansing blend anyway, because you are cleansing any blockages, you're getting rid of any negativity being harboured there. I would strongly suggest cleansing yourself and your area before engaging in any spell work, but particularly with chakra spell work. I quite frequently clean down my little working altar here with Florida water, for example. Okay, and then we have a pale blue spell candle, which has the symbol of the throat chakra on, which you're not going to be able to see, but it is engraved onto it. It's been anointed with lime essential oil. Now, lime is my favourite. I love it. I think it's incredible. It's one of those real energizers, but it's also supposedly used for spiritual warriors, for healing spiritual warriors and helping them fight against all forms of negativity and evil. It sort of banishes all negative crap, and it's one of my absolute favourites. So given the choice, I will always use lime. You can of course use other essential oils. You could use a lemon, you could use a lemongrass, you could use a eucalyptus, you could use a sage, you could use a cypress, any of those. If you're having a very difficult time, cypress is a really good one. And if you have a really difficult time and you store a lot of it in your throat, which I do, and I was told, like, you can tell when I'm really upset because it all gets into my throat, and that was picked up by somebody who was not a spiritual practitioner. This is years back, but that's where I contain a lot of my pain, and so to release it is very necessary. So cypress, if you're going through a really difficult time and you're feeling choked up, I guess is the best way of expressing that. So then the blue candle has a black tea light base, which is anchoring it. I decided to go with a black tea light base for sort of the banishing of the negativity element. and then it is in a combination of spring water. You could also use salt water, but I don't have access to a lot of salt water, so I use my salt water, seawater, very sparingly. It has sea salt in there, sage, dried sage in there, I'll have Blythe after me, and red clover in there. All four of these things technically, including the water, the water liquid, the salt, the sage and the red clover are all associated with the throat chakra. It's correspondences. Salt in this case is used for its purifying effects. Sage can be used for purification as well as wisdom, and often wisdom sort of ties into the discussion of ideas, the embracing of knowledge, and really going through that in a, verbal kind of way. And then red clover, which is one of my favourite herbs right now, is ruled by Mercury and air, so it's very tied into communications, and the infusion of red clover helps remove any negative spirits. Okay, and then that's everything in there, right? Yep. Then we have 3 pieces of kyanite here, and up top, I'll probably have to move it just so you can see, is my chakra disc for the throat chakra, and that's blue calcite, I believe. Yep. So I said I was going to work with kyanite this week, and I am. I'm determined to work with blue kyanite, and blue kyanite in particular is associated with the throat chakra. It's excellent for attunement and meditation, is a powerful transmitter and amplifier of high frequency energies, and doesn't hold any negativity ever, so it doesn't require cleansing, so it's a self-cleansing crystal, which is great when you're doing cleansing work. Do not put kyanite in the water though. Helps open us up to spiritual truth and psychological truth, slicing through ignorance, confusion, dispelling blockages, illusions, anger, frustration and stress. So it's basically perfectly poised, say that 10 times fast, to imbue its energies into the spell. Additionally, the 3 kyanite, although I've managed to move that one for some reason, look like the druidic symbol Aarwin, which is the Welsh word for poetic inspiration. Now, poetic inspiration from the Celtic tradition would be oral tradition, it would be the spoken word, but additionally it's also said that Aarwin stands not simply for inspiration, but for the inspiration of truth, which is very much tied into the throat chakra's energies. Sorry about that, the door went. And okay, so you will set the spell up. You will imbue each herb before you place it into the water. You will imbue the water afterwards, filling it with your light, perhaps a blue light, in visualizing that power. You could connect the kyanite up to the candle being sort of the focus point. You can do that with your wand, with your finger, with another crystal, however you best feel about it. And the idea is to then imbue everything to heal and unblock the throat chakra. Now, the most important part, or the main theme of this, is actually going to be the sound, the noise, the vibration. And for that I've pulled out my silver little measuring spoons, I guess. And you're going to be utilising them like so. The idea behind it, of course, is that you are creating sound, creating vibration. The vibration will pass through the water, pass through the herbs and through the candle, which has been imbued specifically to your throat chakra. So the vibration of that sound, that purifying sound, is going to travel up through the spell itself and help release any blockages within your throat chakra. You could also use a bell, if you had one, a little bell against the side, as long as you're not going to damage anything. Being very careful with this, obviously. And that's why everything is in a glass bowl. It works a lot better. You can hum as well. Humming and singing within this spell would be completely appropriate, because you would be then utilizing the energies of the spell and humming, so you would sort of be vibrating your own throat basically and encouraging your blockages to unblock through your throat chakra, and utilizing all of the components of this spell together to heal and unblock your throat chakra. So that's it for this spell setup. I hope you enjoyed this video. Many blessings.